Hi, good evening, and welcome to Curriculum Night. My name is Kelsey Miller. This is my second year at Brook Park. I am so thankful that this is where I ended up. I grew up in Naperville and lived in Connecticut for a little while, so it feels sort of like I'm back home. I graduated from Miami University in Ohio. I love to travel with my family, who spread out all over the country in my free time. This summer, I spent most of my summer at my lake house and working on my cookie decorating business. If you need to contact me, there are a couple different ways. You can contact me via email, phone, or Class Dojo message. If you have not been receiving my parent emails yet, please contact me so I can get you added to our contact list. Here's a little bit of a look at our daily schedule. You'll see that we start with our morning routine, we go to specials, then we'll do reading, and then we'll have win time, which is the time where most student support services are going to occur. Some other intervention groups will also be pulled during guided reading or math. This is also when we'll have our brain break and our snack. Then we'll have writing, then lunch and recess. We'll have a class meeting when we get back. We'll do math, and then we'll switch off between science and social studies, and then we'll have dismissal. And I'll give you a little bit more information on those as we go. Here's a look at our special schedule. It's sort of confusing, but I sent it home on Monday so you can sort of get a better idea of it. Basically, there's 6 different sessions. For most of the sessions, we will have PE first, and then either wellness, music, or library after. For session 2, we will be in STEAM for the whole specials block. Normally, the specials block is divided in half, where the kids go to PE and then another special. However, during the period of October 12th to November 18th, we will only go to STEAM. And then from March 7th to April 22nd, we will only go to art. STEAM is a little bit one of our newer specials. And then this year, we have a wellness special, which is super exciting. As far as snack goes, your student may bring one healthy snack to eat during class time. Please send something that is easy to eat because a lot of the time the kids will be working and eating. Our lunch is at 12:20 and our class has lunch and then recess. Please note that our classroom is totally nut-free. That involves any kind of nuts. We have several pretty severe peanut allergies and other nut allergies, so we don't want anything entering the classroom that may put those students at risk. Students may also bring a water bottle to class since we are still not using the water fountains. As far as homework goes, we've eliminated the majority of homework assignments that we will be sending home. The only homework I ask is that your child reads 20 minutes each night and charges their Chromebook. We will be starting to keep a reading log here, hopefully within the next month, that I will start tracking whether or not we're reading at home. If a student exhibits off-task behaviors during the school day and fails to complete an assignment, I will send that assignment home for completion and notify you of that. If you take a look at the right, the impact of reading 20 minutes per day is profound. If a kid reads 20 minutes per day, they have exposure to almost 2 million words in 1 year, versus reading for 5 minutes only exposes them to 282,000 words, and reading for 1 minute only exposes them to 8,000 words per year. So the longer a student reads, the higher the likelihood of them performing well on standardized tests. As far as classroom procedures go, we'll be using 2 main things for classroom management. We'll be using Classroom Economy and Classroom Dojo. So I sent a letter about Classroom Economy home on Monday that will give you a little bit more information. Basically, this is designed to help your child learn about financial responsibility at an early age. Your child will earn classroom money for their jobs and going above and beyond by showing different leadership skills, helping others, and staying on the right track. We completed our job applications in class this week. Students ranked their top 3 jobs. However, you are able to send in recommendation letters for your child to get that job. I told the students that their parents or siblings can send in a recommendation letter. However, those recommendation letters will be due tomorrow because I will be deciding over the weekend who gets what job. We will be keeping our jobs for 2 months and then we will be switching. Hand in hand with Classroom Economy is going to be Classroom Dojo. I'm going to use Classroom Dojo to promote positive behavior by rewarding points. These points are usually pretty special and rare. I try not to give out too many points because then it kind of loses its pizzazz on the kids. And so, really, standout behavior is what's recognized. You can take a look at the right. Those are some of the different things that I provide points for. The biggest thing for me is that your child is a good person and a good classroom citizen. And so I try and focus on being kind, helping others, asking questions, and participating, along with teamwork and thoughtful discussions. At the end of the week, students will be able to cash in their points for Classroom Economy money, which we have also been calling Miller Bucks. So if you hear that term, that's what that means. For every point that your child earns, they will receive 5 Miller Bucks at the end of the week. Please connect with our class on Dojo. I will be using this mostly to communicate. If you need to reach me during the day for something important, do not send me an email because I will not see it. Use Classroom Dojo. Classroom Dojo gives me the ability to have notifications come through my phone, and that will go to my Apple Watch, which I can check during the day. If you need to get connected on Classroom Dojo, shoot me an email. I sent some information home about it, so hopefully you were able to get connected through that. At the end of the week, your student will be able to cash in their Miller Bucks and spend their money. They will be able to purchase individual reward coupons. So below, you will see the coupons that they can buy. They can reserve their seat. They can wear socks for the day. They can wear a hat, maybe do some show and tell, have their day off from their job, eat lunch with me and 2 friends, bring in a fluffy friend, have some electronic time, or they can tell a joke or a fun fact during our Peace Circle. As far as Chromebooks go, similar to last year, Chromebooks will be provided for students and they will be brought home each day. They are the property of the district and they do have a safety filter. Emails and other searches are monitored for inappropriate words and conversations. As a class, we've discussed what it looks like to be a digital citizen, and Chromebooks should really only be used for schoolwork. You can look to the right. This is the digital citizenship agreement that we went through with each student. It is your child's responsibility to charge their Chromebook every night. We do not have extra chargers to charge them at school. So if they are not charged, your child will miss out on that day's computer activities. Cases should stay on the Chromebooks at all times, and students will use their usernames and passwords to log them directly into Google. These usernames and passwords have been put on a label and are located now on the inside of your child's take-home folder. Please note that if they forget their take-home folder, they will not be able to most likely log into their computer. Going a little bit deeper into social emotional learning and what that curriculum looks like in our class, every day we'll be having a class meeting. During this class meeting, we'll review character traits. We'll do some team building activities. We'll participate in mindfulness activities. And we'll also do a daily check-in and sharing where students will get to share a little bit about themselves. You might hear the words blue zone, green zone, yellow zone, and red zone when we're talking about classroom actions. What these mean are the blue zone means that we are moving slowly. We're bored, sick, sad, or tired. The green zone means that we're ready to learn and good to go. This is when we're feeling okay, calm, focused, and happy. The yellow zone is when we have lost some control, for example, being silly or excited, nervous, or frustrated. And the red zone means that we're mad, angry, or terrified and out of control. This is the zone where I will send students most likely to our calm corner in our classroom, where they can use some different fidgets or calming activities to get themselves back into that green zone. The writing curriculum that we will use is Lucy Calkins. Lucy Calkins is broken down by trimesters. In the first trimester, we'll focus on narrative writing. We'll talk about small moment stories and writing about things that have happened in our lives. If we have some time, we'll go into writing and adapting fairy tales. In trimester 2, we'll talk about informational writing. So students will choose a topic to study and they will research and write a book about it. In trimester 3, we'll go into persuasive writing. This focuses on changing the world. So we'll discuss persuasive speeches, petitions, and editorial writing. And students will choose several different issues that they're passionate about that they want to make a difference. We'll be doing a combination of pencil and paper notebook writing and work on Google Classroom. Another part of our writing curriculum is Words Their Way. Students will be grouped for Words Their Way in the classroom based on spelling inventories. We'll do one in the fall, one in the winter, and one in the spring to reassess our grouping. During Words Their Way time, students will analyze and recognize patterns of sounds, letters, and meanings. They'll learn the regularities and irregularities of spelling patterns and oddball words. They'll be doing multiple word sorts. They'll be having discussions, playing games, and comparing patterns that they've learned to new patterns. This curriculum will begin next week. For reading, we use a curriculum called Scholastic Comprehension Club. This is a combination of whole group and small group learning. During whole group reading, we'll have weekly read alouds, and we'll focus on skills that guide instruction. Students will also be participating in book clubs. Book club books will be selected by the student, and they will be at the grade level. So even if your child is reading under a third grade level, this will help them to be exposed to those grade level texts. They'll be having in-class discussions about these books, and they will be running these discussions. Reading is broken down throughout the week. On Monday, we will meet the skill. On Tuesday, we will try it out. On Wednesday, we will work on it as a class. Thursday, they'll think about it and do it on their own. And then Friday, they'll get some feedback. During our guided group time, students will have stations to get done. Some of these stations might be digital or some might be pencil paper. As far as books go, I may give your child books from our school book room to read as a book club. These books must be returned to school when the book is completed. We will be using Epic, which is an online book library found in Clever. And students will also be able to use My Classroom Library and the school library for independent reading. You will know if it's a book from My Classroom if Miss Miller's library is stamped in black on the inside of the book. All books will be going back and forth to school in your child's plastic book bag. These are book bags that I have bought to protect the books, so please make sure that these are taken care of. For math, we will be using the Go Math curriculum. We'll mainly be focused on goal setting and reaching our goals. Go Math uses whole group mini lessons, and we'll also be doing guided math groups that are based on pre-assessment data to meet those needs of all learners. That allows me to challenge some groups and give a little bit more support to those that need it. On Monday, I sent home a student resources math book that provides you and your child with some extra resources to have at home. We will be working using a combination of technology resources, manipulatives, and our math book. For science and social studies this year, we are using a model of shared teaching. So our class is paired up with Miss Folk's class. And basically what that means is that Miss Folk will be teaching social studies and I will be teaching science. We will switch about every 3 to 6 weeks. So your child might get 3 weeks of science, and from me, I'll be teaching science, and then Miss Folk and I will switch rooms, and then they'll be getting 3 weeks of social studies from her. Now, Miss Folk and I will definitely be keeping in contact, and your student will be, we will be managing our classrooms together. All right, so the social studies curriculum that we use is TCI. This is a curriculum that is inquiry-based. It focuses on developing questions and planning inquiries, evaluating resources and using evidence, and communicating different conclusions, along with taking different actions. In third grade, we focus on civics, geography, and history/economics. Last year was our first year using the program, and we only got to use it digitally. So this year will be much more exciting now that we are officially back in the classroom full time. For science, we use a curriculum called STEM Scopes. STEM Scopes is what I will be teaching when I am either in our class or Miss Folk's class. In third grade, we focus on life sciences, which surround social and group behavior, inheritance and variation of traits, environmental changes and effects, plants and animal extinction, and fossils. It will talk about electric and magnetic forces, and then we'll also go into earth and space science, talking about weather and climate, and processes and impacts of natural hazards. Now, on the right, it tells you where work can be found in Google Classroom, but I did forget to remove that from last year, so you can go ahead and just ignore that. During WIN time, which I talked about a little bit earlier, the special education team and math and reading intervention teams will be pulling students who need those extra interventions during this time. This is also a time that I will be pulling some math and reading small groups for additional practice for the students that are remaining in the room. If students are not being pulled, they're going to have some choices on what they can work on. For example, they might be completing unfinished work. They might have independent reading time. They might need to work on resetting their brains and taking a brain break. They might be working on their writing. We might have a class read aloud, or they might be practicing math facts. Now, the grading that we do at Brook Park is standards-based grading. What this means is it focuses on what your child needs to know by the end of third grade and breaks it down by standard. Going throughout the year, your child will be assessed on all the standards, but these are end of the year targets. So if your child is not mastering them all in the first trimester, do not worry because the goal is by the end of the year. We score based on mastery, which means your child has successfully grasped the topic. Developing, which means they're getting there, but they don't quite have a complete understanding yet. And beginning, which means they might need some extra practice and they're not there yet. Mastery Connect is what we use as our formal grading tool. Parents, you are able to log into Mastery Connect and view your child's scores, assignments, and tests. I will be sending home grade updates during each cycle as well. So at the end of a unit, you will be able to get a better idea of where your child is at on those targets. We will be also using Google Classroom as a grading tool. You have all been invited to get an email summary from Google Classroom. Now, this year, Google Classroom is only used for those digital assignments, which will be split about 50-50 digital and paper assignments. On that email summary, you'll be able to see missing work, work that's coming up, or any classroom activity. Some assignments will receive feedback only and not a grade. These are formative activities that help us to develop an understanding of concepts and standards. You will be able to see grades for online assignments on Google Classroom, and for paper assignments that I send home, you will see the grades straight on the paper. Some assignments will have points associated with them. If they have points associated with them, it will be on a 3-2-1 scale. 3 represents that mastery standard, 2 represents developing standard, and 1 represents that beginning. So now that I have finished on going through all the curriculum, I just want to say thank you for a couple different things. Thank you for sharing your child with me. I have loved getting to know each and every one of them already. Thank you for understanding that this year is still different for all of us as we head back into whole group learning. Thank you for your support and being part of our team. This is going to be a team that is going to do everything we can for your child. And thank you for being forgiving on any mistakes that I make. Mistakes are how we learn in room 204, and I try and tell the kids that each day. So now you may join me for a question and answer Zoom. There are a couple different sessions, and you will have the Zoom link provided by me. So the sessions are 6:30 to 6:45, 6:50 to 7:05, or 7:10 to 7:25. Thanks.